All right, so this is going to walk you through the first homework for Unit 8. So looking at that first lesson, Explore. So let me get to that and then walk through those contents. So Lesson 1, Explore 1, the images of stars. All right, so the first thing, again, pay attention to is this idea of a light year. So how far light is going to travel in 1 year, which is, again, they give you here as 6.5 trillion kilometers, which I think was about 6 trillion miles. This one is going back to this idea of scale and proportion and how big these things are. If we remember that the galaxies are going to be our largest value, and then we have our nebulas, and then we have our stars. We have our galaxies, we have our clusters, and then nebulas, and then stars, which the sun is one of, planets, and then we have the comets. So when we kind of organize them that way, don't worry too much about the size. These are just getting from smaller to larger. And if we look at their solution here, you can see that that's the order it goes in, right? So we have a comet, we have a planet, we have a larger planet, and then a star like the sun, the gas nebula, the clusters, and then the galaxies that we're going through. So it's just ordering kind of our scale here as we go, as you're looking at it. All right, this one talks about just how the different ways that we can view space. So we have the visible light that we're used to, right? And then we have the infrared, and then we have the X-ray. And those are going to give us different things based on kind of what we can look at. So beyond visible light, if we look at the different electromagnetic spectrum, we can see different things from our space. All right. This one is looking at how it's working. Again, visible light is pretty easy, so you can make sure that one be. So this is our Hubble Space Telescope, right, which is this one up here, and then we have the same dust might block visible light, right, and appear dark. So we wouldn't see it in the visible light, but the X-ray image could show it. So this is our answers to that section. All right. For this next part, we're looking at interpreting an image. These are just things you can click on and see kind of how these look. And so that's going to be something that you just click through. There's nothing to answer there. And then at the end, it talks about these structures. So it has the galaxies, and then the way that they could look from space. All right. And then we're using these to do our best statements here. So trying to figure out kind of how these look. The book is a little bit minimum on what these are made of. If you look at the slides, you'll see kind of more details, or if you are you want to just Google it and look at it. So our answer choices for these that are correct are the irregular galaxy has really more active areas. So this irregular galaxy is going to have a lot more star formation. The elliptical galaxy is usually the older, it's not going to have as much star formation. And then the spiral is kind of somewhere in the middle. And then we have the arms of the spiral galaxies. You're going to have more gas and dust. We can kind of see that out here on those components. All right, a couple images for mapping space. And then this idea of how do we measure where something is. So how do we get a distance on something, given that everything is moving, and this idea of parallax. This is a little bit harder to kind of realize, and if you look back at the slides, you'll see it, but we would see this shift. So when we're looking at parallax, we're going to see this shift in where something seems to be based on where we are as we're rotating. So the Earth is rotating on the sun, and then if we look at the correct answers for this, we'd see this star shifting based on where we are in 6 months. So that idea of parallax, the things that are closer are going to have shifted more, and that's going to give us a distance measurement for how far away something is. All right, and then it talks a little bit about other ways that you could measure things and using this idea of parallax. But that's really it for the answers. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, by all means, feel free to reach out. Thanks.